All right, so this will be a tier list of things that made me rich. All right. Why am I qualified to talk about this? Well, because I am rich. And basically, as you can see here on this Shopify dashboard, one of the stores I have made 900K in the last month. So I think that makes the point. However, let me rank all of this and tell you if it made me rich or not. The very first thing I'm going to talk about is the gym. Contrary to what most of you guys think, the gym is not going to put more money into your bank account. It's not like every time you do a bench press, you get a magic $100 appear in your bank account. That's not how it works. And in my opinion, the gym is actually detrimental to making money. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the gym. I go to the gym multiple times a week, but I don't tell myself that it makes me money, because here's exactly what happens when you go to the gym. You work, and then you stop working, and then you do something else. It doesn't matter if it's a gym or scrolling on your TikTok or watching a movie. Nothing matters. And you should stop telling yourself that you go to the gym for mental clarity, all that garbage. It just is not reality, okay? Every single hardcore working period I had, I cut the gym out, okay? There was multiple years of my life where I sacrificed basically everything for getting the work done and only doing work. Didn't do anything else except for work. So keep in mind, the gym is not going to make you more money. The next thing is watching YouTube videos. And this is actually something which helped me out a lot. Like, I would say watching YouTube videos put a lot of money into my bank account, because that's how I even got started with dropshipping in the first place. I watched a random YouTube video talking about online marketing, and then I had no idea what that is. I started searching it up more and more on YouTube. And one of the business models I found was dropshipping. And there was this Irish guy named Rory, and he basically made a bunch of videos about dropshipping, had like a $0 to $1,000 a day challenge. And when I saw it, it clicked in my head. I was like, oh my God, this is the craziest concept I've ever seen. You don't have to go work. You actually can just press buttons on your computer and apparently make a living off that. That's insane. I started doing it, and I started watching all these like OG YouTubers back in the day, Gabriel Saint Germain, Yusei, all these OG guys which made videos back in the day, like 2017, 2018. And that's how I got started with it. So I would say watching YouTube videos is one of the most productive things you can do. However, it's not the best thing, because it can be also very distracting. I know for a fact, the moment I watch YouTube videos, I lie to myself sometimes. I feel productive when I watch YouTube videos, but in reality, I procrastinate. And in the beginning, to an extent, it's super helpful, and you can learn so much about specific things, about business models, about how to make more money. But you shouldn't tell yourself that just watching the video is gonna make you money. Like, I have a general rule. Every time I watch YouTube videos without pen and paper, I count it as free time and not work. Every time I watch a video and actually make notes and try to fully understand everything the person is saying, I see that as education. So anything which is not me taking actual notes doesn't really count. And that's something which obviously can take away a lot of time from you. The next one is waking up early. Right now, I don't wake up early at all. I wake up around 9:30 every single day for the last few years, and that's how I've been doing it, okay? What I've seen that is way more important than waking up earlier or later is, number one, waking up around the same time every day. And number two is having a very clear to-do right when I wake up. Whenever I wake up without a real purpose, I fuck up the day. However, when I plan out my next day before I go to sleep, I wake up, I know exactly what to do, and I get it done. This is literally one of these magic pills. If you do this for the rest of your life, I promise you, your life is going to be completely different. This is one of these things. If you only get this one thing from this YouTube video, this is probably the one thing that can actually change your life. Wake up and already know what to do. And this is also going to help you so much with waking up on the first alarm and just having a routine. Because, for example, if you have a flight at 10 a.m. in the morning, there's no way you're going to sleep in. You know, I have to be at the airport at 9. The way to the airport is 1 hour, so I have to wake up at 8. No question about it, right? For sure, you're going to wake up at 8. And if the flight is at 6, you're going to wake up at 4. No matter what, you will do that. Why? Well, because you have a clear to-do. Like, you know what's going to happen that day. And that's why you wake up so easily, okay? So this is something which is not the typical wake up early thing. Just waking up early is not enough. It's more about the to-do list. If you do have a to-do list when you wake up, this is the best thing you can ever do. All right. This is going to literally change your life. All right. So the next thing, which personally helped me so much, is hotel lobbies. All right. When I started building my first stores, I literally couldn't focus when I was at home. It was impossible for me to get shit done because I constantly got distracted. And instead of forcing myself to be productive at home, I just figured out this crazy hack, which is you go somewhere else and you work there. And I figured out that 5-star hotel lobbies are the best place in the world because even when I was broke, I could just afford like a $4 or $5 coffee and basically was sitting there all day. Nobody's going to ever look at you weird because they think you're a guest. Even if you go there every single day for like 5 months straight, nobody ever says anything. You buy your little coffee and it's fine. This is actually something which made all the difference in the world for me because all of a sudden I was productive. I literally started to be able to focus. And from that moment, I actually figured out a really interesting concept, which is instead of forcing something which is very difficult, there are always paths of making it easy. For example, this, if you try to lose weight, it's pretty difficult to do that if you don't have any setup. You have to change all your habits. You have to change everything. However, imagine another scenario. All right. You have a private chef who's always cooking amazing food for you, which is healthy. And then you also have a private trainer. And every single day at 8 p.m., you have a set appointment with a private trainer. And he basically just shows up to the gym with you and you guys work out, okay? You're for sure going to show up because you guys have the appointment and you have the chef which cooks very well. That is an example where you can bypass discipline and just use the setup around you to get things done. This is something which I always do to this day. Like every time I can't change something or I have a bad habit, I try to think to myself, what can I change to change the habit? If I start getting addicted to Instagram scrolling, instead of trying to get off Reels, I would delete Instagram. I would like do these things which is change everything so I can't even access it. So that's generally something I would highly recommend you doing as well. The next thing which made me a crazy amount of money is connections, okay? There are a few people who I met over the years which made me millions and millions of dollars. And the whole saying of like your network is your net worth, it's so true. Literally, whenever I have any question in the world, I can just ask it to these people. I know so many people who make a ridiculous amount of money that I can just ask a question and they're going to answer. And I'm only able to do that because I was able to provide a lot of value to them. So connections are only useful if the person is thankful or they like you for whatever reason. If they just got a lot of value from you, then connections are super powerful. But it only works if you actually can provide value. This is something which is pretty difficult to build up because for you as a viewer, for example, it's going to be very difficult to provide any value to me. I basically have everything I want. Every new thing I want to learn, I can just pay for it. So it's not easy to provide value to somebody who's going to be able to provide value to you. So that's why I'm not going to put it S tier, but it's going to be here. The next thing which made me crazy amounts of money is my personal brand. All right. My YouTube channel was probably one of the most profitable things I've ever did in my life because of a few reasons. Number one, the most obvious one, I made a bunch of money from the mentorship I sell. Number two is I've built up a name for myself that a lot of e-com guys actually started reaching out to me on my Instagram. Literally every single day, somebody who made over $1 million with their e-com store reaches out to me every single day. And I'm able to connect with these people just because of my personal brand, because they want to connect with me. And what I started doing is just starting to talk to these people. And basically, I realized that just because I made a bunch of money doesn't mean that a person who made a little less money than me cannot teach me anything. If a person made a few $1 million with e-commerce, it doesn't matter that I made significantly more than them. They for sure along the journey found some little hack which increased their conversion rate by 1% or their average order value by 50 cents, whatever it is. Literally one little hack which I learned, I can implement on every store I have and every store I'm ever going to run in the future. One little value nugget, which might seem dumb to you, is the most valuable thing ever. Because from now on, if I learn this new little hack, my conversion rate forever is going to be 1% higher, which literally is going to make me millions of dollars in pure profit over the next few years. Because on high volume, small changes actually matter a lot. And this is obviously also something I teach in my program. All the little hacks I learned over the years, you get them. This is part of why the program works so well, why we have so many case studies. But my YouTube channel was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. And one more thing which happened through this YouTube channel is my life significantly increased in quality. Because the dashboard I just showed you with like 900K in 1 month with dropshipping, that's just money, all right? It's just money. I don't get any sort of fulfillment. I don't get happy if somebody buys my product and likes the product. I don't care. It's not relevant. I don't even see the person being happy. With the mentorship program, it's very, very different. I actually see real people that I actually help and that their life literally changes and they start living from dropshipping full time, make a bunch of money here. And this is something which actually genuinely makes me happy. Even though that doesn't make me money, it just makes me want to focus on this so much more. And this is why for the last 2 years, every single week, I upload 3 videos. Like this is it. I help a bunch of people, I make a bunch of money, and I build crazy amounts of connections. And a lot of these connections, by the way, are also students. So I help a student get to a few $1 million. And at some point, I know they're going to be able to help me with something which I didn't know yet. So my knowledge base just compounds so much because of the volume. And I would never, ever know so much about dropshipping without the mentorship program because I have this overview over every single student of mine. I know exactly what works, what doesn't work, how good it works. I know everything. I have this like matrix overview over every single student. So that just helps me be on top of the game as well. All right. So the next thing is books. I probably didn't read a book for the last 7 years. I don't read at all. The only thing I actually do is audiobooks and also not a crazy amount. I listen to audiobooks mainly in the gym, in the car, and that's it. Because I can't take notes there, I just do it in the car and in the gym. I don't see it as valuable. Cool, interesting concepts. And most of them are also about like self-improvement, making more money, all these things. But I think if I didn't hear a single audiobook as well, my net worth would probably not have changed. I do it. Like I listen to audiobooks, so I can't put it on the worst tier here. So it's going to be somewhere in the middle. It's fine. Actually, no, I'm going to put it here. It doesn't make me money. So it doesn't whatever. It literally doesn't make me money. The next thing is overall self-improvement. Self-improvement, this is a bubble. Like a bunch of people think meditating, cold showers, the gym, all these things are going to make them a bunch of money. I disagree. All right. You're not going to make more money because of it. However, I think I actually made significant amount of money because I actually did work on myself. I almost cringe when I hear this word self-improvement because the whole niche drifted away in such a weird thing where everybody's just talking about theoretical concepts which don't work and whatever. Practically what I did is I knew I have to max myself out in every area. So social skills, being able to talk to girls, make a bunch of money, go to the gym, all these things generally, I understood, all right, if I get all of these things, I'm going to be a better man. I got that. And I still believe that is the case. So in general, because this tier list is specifically only about money, because I understood that I have to make money, it actually made me money. Like I started viewing it as a goal at some point. So I would put it somewhere in the middle just because this whole self-improvement space is so cringe. There's a massive difference in between feeling productive and being productive. And I've been through the whole thing. Like I did the cold showers. I tried to meditate. I did the whole thing. All right. And what I noticed is I felt very productive while I was doing it. I take a cold shower, I meditate, I go to the gym, then I start working. But at some point, what I realized is I felt so productive because it was such a clear task. The problem with building a business is it's so unclear what you do. Like, what product do you test? How do you go viral? How should you do ads? Should you do organic? There's so many different questions which are going to pop up, and there's no clear step-by-step system that you have in your head to make $10,000 in profit per month. However, taking a cold shower is a very clear, actionable thing. Going to the gym is very actionable. Meditating is very actionable. Even building a perfect looking store, designing an amazing looking logo. These are very actionable things. But then going viral on TikTok, it feels very unactionable. Obviously, there are action steps, but as a beginner, it feels like it's unreachable and you don't know even where to start. And that's why you start with things which just feel productive. And then you feel like the day was a win, but it wasn't. You just felt productive. You weren't productive. And that is the problem problem with this whole self-improvement thing. How you feel about your day is literally irrelevant. All right, so the next thing is supplements. I didn't take any supplements until recently. The only thing I was taking is creatine, and that's only for the gym, so it's not connected to money at all. I started taking like 5 or 6 supplements every single day for the last few months, and what I realized is I have significantly less brain fog. Like over the last few years, and this is like me having like an actual personal issue for the last years, was I am very bad at like focusing on something for a super long amount of time. It was very difficult for me to just listen to somebody for 3 hours, especially when it's something I'm not interested in. I was just zoning out. I was just literally in another world. And the same thing happened a lot of the times while I was working. I was trying to focus and I was just thinking of something else. And it was just massive brain fog. I couldn't focus. And taking like these few supplements actually helped me a lot. I literally don't even know what I'm taking. My girlfriend helped like find the best ones and she just reminds me to take them every day. But if you want the list of all the supplements I'm taking, I can actually find it and send it to you on Instagram. Just DM me supplements. But anyways, this is something which was very surprising to me, but it was super helpful over the last few months, and I definitely am not gonna stop taking them. The next thing is AI and ChatGPT. In my opinion, it is overrated so far. I'm not really using AI that much. Like the only thing I actually am doing is instead of Googling a question, I search it up on ChatGPT, and it's that part of it is super helpful. But I'm not making a significant amount of extra money because of AI whatsoever. There's no specific AI tool which helped me like a lot with anything. And there's a few things like AI store builders and all these things, but at the stage I'm at, it's just not worth it to use any of them because an AI store builder is something, for example, which is very good for a beginner. If you have no idea how to build a store, the AI just does it for you and it's better than you would have done it. But I have one of the best store creators in the world. He's going to be better than the AI, so it doesn't really make sense for me to use it that much. However, because I still use it on a daily basis, I'm going to put it somewhere here. I'm going to put it here in the middle because I have to say it's much easier than Googling things. So in that regard, maybe it does save me some time in terms of instead of Googling, I just search it on ChatGPT and instantly have the answer. The next one is not going out. I've seen in this whole space, in this whole self-improvement, money-making space, everybody's preaching that you shouldn't go out and you should just lock in and not do anything else. I disagree with that. I fully disagree with that. Your life is not going to be significantly negatively impacted if you just go out like once a week and you don't drink too much, all right? If you're capable to work the next day and it's fine, I don't consider it a problem at all. And I see it exactly the same way as the gym. If you go out, spend a few hours out, you're not working. If you go to the gym, you're not working. It's the same fucking thing. Now, obviously, if you ruin the next day by drinking too much or by staying out too late, that can actually fuck up things, and I would not recommend doing that. But in these periods of my life where I was just locked in and not doing anything else than work, it was actually very helpful to me just to go out once a week, once every 2 weeks. I actually didn't view it as a problem, and I would say not going out as long as you don't go crazy again. To an extent, if you go out 5 times a week, obviously, but I wouldn't say it's that bad. All right, so the next thing is optimizing your landing page, generally optimizing. This is something which most dropshippers completely disregard. What I notice is the reason why we make so much money with our dropshipping stores is not because of some crazy hacks. It's because every single day we're optimizing something. There's a constant A/B test going for the last years. An A/B test means that 50% of my traffic goes to one landing page and 50% of my traffic goes to another landing page. So if a few hundred people visited both pages, I see which one is doing better. And then I take the winner and compare it to the next thing. And then I take the winner and compare it to the next thing. And at some point, it takes a while to find a new winner because your page is just so optimized. However, because we do it so frequently, it just makes us such a ridiculous amount of money. That's how we outcompete the competition. Nobody does this. If you ask any dropshipper, and nobody did A/B tests for the last years every single day. Nobody does that, okay? That's how we outcompete. And this is literally how we outcompete everyone. A person clicking on our website to us is probably worth 3 times more than if he would have clicked on your website. And that's why we make so much more money. So optimizing stuff, super helpful, S tier. The next thing is reducing your screen time. And this is something which helped me out tremendously. And I would put it here because not scrolling around on TikTok and Instagram is actually makes a very significant impact in your life, especially while you're working. It's super distracting to just consistently scroll, etc. And it's very, very helpful to not do that. The next thing is organic dropshipping. Organic dropshipping is probably the best way to make your first 10 to 30K profit per month. Just because of that, it has to be here. However, because I'm not a beginner and my goal is not to make 30K a month, but way, way more, it's not enough by itself to scale to like $1 million a month. Okay, we obviously have to supplement it with Facebook. And that's why in my case, I'm going to put it here because organic has taught us so much for Facebook. The way we structure our ads on Facebook now is 1 million times better just because of organic. And this in combination with the next thing, which is Facebook ads, is just the best thing out there. And this is how we make so much money. We basically combine Facebook ads with TikTok organic and just scale to the moon. And nobody does that because in the whole space, there's no one who actually is really good at both. And luckily, I started with ads and then we started going this whole organic route. And at some point, I figured out how to transfer organic skills to Facebook. And it's actually way more difficult than you think because it's like on paper, it sounds very logical. Just take an organic video and then run it as an ad and it's going to be profitable, right? That's not how it works. Organic videos suck on Facebook. However, taking organic videos and making them like more Facebooky is basically the thing which allowed us to scale this high because before we knew how to do organic, our Facebook ads looked very normal, like Facebook ads. And now with the organic skill, they just drastically increased in quality. The next thing I want to talk about is consistency. Consistency is literally the reason why I am here. For the last, I think at this point, it's 7 years. I don't do anything else than either dropshipping or teaching dropshipping. That's the only thing I do for the last 7 years. All right. This is literally my entire focus for that long. And that's the reason why we were able to scale this high. It's just because of consistency and time in the market. I'm not switching around. And I have so many people who started dropshipping around the same time as me, and they switched their business model 27 times. And today they're starting the new thing again for 7 fucking years. It's insane. However, the only way to scale to a lot of money is consistency. So I'm just going to put it here, even though my chart is too small. Anyways, the last thing that helped me make a lot of money is my mentors. And in every single field that I've gotten good at, I had a person who guided me through the entire process. I paid for information back in the day when I started dropshipping. Shout out to my boy Chris Clark. He taught me everything in the beginning back in the day. Fortunately, he's not around anymore. I don't know where he is. I hope he's doing well, but he doesn't answer my texts or my messages. He's off Instagram. Anyways, at this point, I'm spending around $100,000 pretty much every year, this year probably even more, on coaches. Because I just understand the value. In the beginning, having a coach just gets you to your first 10, 20K. Later on, a small thing, somebody says, you can keep the knowledge forever. Like they tell you, change this. And you changed it and it works. And then you have that change forever. The cool thing about it is you only pay one time for a coaching and then you keep the knowledge forever. And this is something which outweighs everything. If I pay $50,000 for a few one-on-one calls with a person, then he basically says something to me. I make $50,000 more that month. But the cool thing is, for the rest of my life, I'm going to make at least $50,000 more because of that hack. This is the reason why I think that coachings are the most overpowered thing in the world. And this is also why we have our program, because I know I can literally look at your business. I can identify what the mistakes are you're doing. I can tell you what these mistakes are. You're going to fix them and you're going to start making money all of a sudden. Okay. This is how it worked for me. And this is why we have our mentorship, because I just know for a fact we have a flawless system of making money with dropshipping. If you implement that system, you're going to make a bunch of money with dropshipping. And at some point when you scaled, I know one of you guys, maybe not you specifically, but one of you guys is going to be able to provide me so much value at some point in return that it's going to be all worth it. So if you want to join my one-on-one mentoring program, click the link below, sign up for a call, and we're going to see if everything is a good fit.